What is up everybody, it is me DevilNeverCry, and in this video I want to go over the latest Resident Evil 3 Remake news and footage that was recently unveiled. As always, make sure you subscribe to stay up to date with all the content on the channel and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any uploads. But getting back to the topic of today's video, as I just mentioned, a barrage of footage was unveiled online, and of course with a bunch of footage comes a bunch of new details, some of which we've never seen before, and that's what I kind of want to go over in this video. Now before we get into any of the specifics, I just want to say the scope of this game is great. The game looks, just as good as, or if not even better than, Resident Evil 2 Remake. That game was kind of set in just one location, a very labyrinthine location, very concise though. I am talking about the RPD here, of course, for those of you that don't know. Whereas in this game, and in the original, it was set in the streets of Raccoon City, so the scope was always going to be a whole lot larger. It usually tends to happen with sequels anyway. But there's different locales. The amount of zombies and enemies on screen is fantastic. You really get a sense that the city is infected, and even the game and the speed that it runs at is a whole lot faster than Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 2 Remake, which brings on to my first topic of this whole action-orientedness and the dodge mechanic, which we got a better look at in some of this footage. Of course, for those of you that don't know, in the original Resident Evil 3 you were able to quick turn and you were able to dodge zombies, of course, or dodge enemies in general even, and that seems to be making a return obviously for the remake. Coming a little bit out of nowhere is the inclusion of a Witch Time-esque dodge mechanic, where if you dodge at the last second, Jill will sort of do a fancy maneuver where she'll dodge, twirl, and then whip out her pistol or whatever gun you've got equipped, and gives you the extra couple of seconds to get off a few shots that will ensure your survival, so to speak. I'd imagine that's probably what the feature is intended to do, and it's been explained away as Jill not being a rookie, which is why it wasn't included in RE2 Remake. It wasn't included anyway because that game wasn't very action-oriented, but here it's supposed to, imply or reflect the fact that Jill's reflexes are so sharp that she's able to dodge and then quickly get off a retaliation at a moment's notice. But it's pretty cool to see it in action, and obviously it rewards skill-based gameplay. If you learn enemy attack patterns, then you'll be able to pull off last-minute dodges, and you'll be able to essentially kill enemies more efficiently and more safely. Moving on to the elephant in the room though, or should I say weapon, good old Nemesis. We get an extended look at him and his gameplay, and boy oh boy, he's exactly as I thought, just as much a terror as he was in the original. For those of you who don't know, Nemesis chased you for a significant portion of Resident Evil 3. Oftentimes you'd be able to stand your ground or flee, and he'd be able to follow you essentially everywhere you went. You could hide in a save room, but you wouldn't really do much considering he'd stand there waiting for you outside, so you kind of had to face the music at a certain point. But he looks absolutely crazy in this game. They haven't toned him down whatsoever. He's a lot faster than Mr. X, he's a lot smarter, and he's a lot more lethal, and some people thought that they might have kind of dumbed him down to cope with the scope of this game, obviously with it all being real time and moving a lot faster. But no, he's just as terrifying as he was in the original. He'll leap large distances to get ahead of you, to absolutely savage you. He'll drag you in with his filthy tentacles if you attempt to run away, and he does a lot of damage. This dude will burst out of walls like it's nothing, like the goddamn Kool-Aid Man, and it's cool to see. Obviously we don't have the live selection feature, so it's kind of up to you, the player, to decide whether you want to flee or stand your ground and fight. Some people are unsure of why you'd want to fight him. Where he differs with Mr. X is that once you down Nemesis, he will actually drop items for you. He dropped weapon mods, I believe, in the original Resident Evil 3, and that seems to be the case in the remake. I believe it was the PlayStation blog that stated that they downed Nemesis and he'd actually dropped a weapon mod. So the incentive to damage him is still there, something that wasn't obviously in Resident Evil 2 Remake, where once you downed Mr. X, you didn't really get anything for your troubles other than probably 20 or 30 seconds of downtime before he got up and came to wreck your ass again. On the topic of weapon mods though, again it's great to see these make a return. It allows for customization of Jill in terms of your playstyle. I believe of the weapon mods to be featured, a silencer and a red dot sight have been confirmed, with of course there being plenty more for you to find throughout your journey of Raccoon City. Moving away from the topic of Raccoon City though, I briefly want to talk about the two enemies that we got a new look at. The first of which is the Drain Deimos, I believe that's how that's said, and the Hunter Gamma. So at a certain point in the game and in this snippet of footage that we see, Jill has to make her way through a abandoned electrical substation, infested, might I add, and it is filled to the brim with these fiendish things, these devilish abominations. They look like a mixture between, I don't know, a human and a fly, just gone wrong, as if it could even go right. And yeah, these things are absolutely lethal. If the news is to be believed, they've got a particularly gruesome attack which, if you're not careful, will eventually kill you. And then you've got the Hunter Gamma, which is the spitting image of the enemy in original Resident Evil 3 and some of the art for it. It's just a big old bumbling mass of flesh which will kill you in one hit if you're not careful. So yeah, I'm looking forward to sprinting away from those things the moment I see them. And so those are my thoughts on Resident Evil 3 Remake and the latest footage. I touched upon most of the main things, and there are probably some tidbits that I forgot to mention. No doubt somebody in the comments is going to absolutely lampoon me for that though. The main thing that I will not forget to talk about though is the announcement of a demo. That is right, ladies and gentlemen, at some point in the near future we'll be able to get our hands on Resident Evil 3 Remake, or at least its demo. Again, I think this isn't going to be available on PC, because for those of you that don't know, the previous demo for Resident Evil 2 Remake was a one-shot demo where you had a timer, and once you played for I think 30 minutes, that was it, that was the demo spent. It was a one-time thing. But if you got it on PC, there was a way to get around this time limit which let you play infinitely, essentially, which I think is the reason why they're not including this demo on PC, because somebody's probably just going to be able to get around it. Either that, or they don't want people data mining the game and finding all sorts of assets, which again is understandable, but it remains to be seen what kind of demo it's actually going to be and if it's going to have a time limit or not. So that is going to be it for this video. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, do be sure to leave a like, and again, make sure you subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest content. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys are hyped for Resident Evil 3 Remake. I know I am for sure, and you guys can expect more content on the game when the game finally drops on April 3rd. With all that said and done, people, it has been me, DevilNeverCry. I would like to thank all of you for watching, and as always, I'll see you all next video.